So we're here doing our first interview at the Detailers of Naples for How Business Unwinds, and I have a very special entrepreneur that I'm interviewing today. So when I first met Allie, I was excited to get her in these chairs because she's been in business for over 30 years. And I just really want to know how she has stayed in the game and what keeps her going. It is very rare that you meet someone that has been in business for so long. So it's an absolute pleasure to have Allie here from Action Title, and I am excited to see how her business unwinds. So, okay, Allie, first of all, how are you feeling?
Good.
Okay,
This is
good.
great.
That's good. Yeah, don't, if you just want to relax for a bit and we'll get into the questions, we can just totally let you unwind for a bit first. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. What I really want to know is, how did you get started in business? How did you get started in the type of business that you're in?
Well, I initially moved to Naples in 1998.
Wow.
The company had already been established for about 10 years. The founder, Patty Decker, opened the company in 1988, November of 1988. And at the point when I joined the company, I had no idea what title insurance was
Oh, wow.
or if it was needed. I honestly thought that, you buy a house, that's all you need. You
Yep.
don't need title insurance. But I learned the hard way that you do need title insurance in order to protect your investment.
Yes.
And I met Patty Decker, and before you know it, I started working for her. She realized my potential and quickly put me in the front lines of the office to do most of the closings. And eventually, she retired, and I took over the entire business.
So that's incredible that you've been in business for so long, and with the people that saw something in you, and you still have a relationship with them. I love that. Who works in the company now? Like, is it a lot of the same people? Did you have to do a lot of your own hiring?
No, actually, the company was transferred to me as it was.
Nice.
Every employee stayed with us. Our office manager has been there since the beginning, and she still is. Actually, she's looking to retire someday, but I'm not taking her retirement plans yet. So, but everybody is with me. Everybody that was with Action Title when Patty Decker owned it is still with me, and we're still going strong. We added Alessandra as our marketing rep, and she does processing and closing as well. So we have a good stuff right now that a lot of women that are very driven and business oriented mainly.
That's so cool. So you've been in business for quite some time, and I'm sure, just as all entrepreneurs, you faced setbacks and certain challenges in your career.
Oh,
Can you
absolutely.
yeah. Can you tell me about a time that you've faced a challenge that has really changed you and shaped your future?
Oh, yes. I could give you a great example of how you have to change your business and change what you do. The recession was one of them.
Right.
The recession in 2008 basically collapsed our entire industry. Lenders were not doing loans. People were trying to get rid of their houses and get rid of the bad mortgages that they got kind of roped into.
Mm.
And that actually was a very good time to learn about short sales. That was the only thing that was happening. So we had to get creative with the business in order to stay afloat and keep the doors open at the time. And we actually did really good with short sales. We helped tons of people sell their houses and basically avoid foreclosure on their properties. It was challenging at times, but it was well worth it. I mean, everybody that I worked with did really good, and basically got out of a bad situation in exchange.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, I could see how that. I mean, such a dark time, and a lot of people I I remember them using that particular time of the recession as a time that completely broke them.
Oh
You
yes,
know, and it's really cool that you have many stories of how it actually built people and sent them on to the next level in life.
exactly. I
Yeah,
mean, people worked with us, and they were happy to get out of that situation and start all over because that's what it took for everybody actually.
yeah.
You know, businesses, families, everybody was having a hard time during that time.
Wow, so interesting. It is really interesting that, I mean, now, you know, you can never prepare yourself for the next challenge, but it seems like you're always going to be finding the solutions in the issues that you face in your line of work.
We try. I mean, title insurance can be complex at times where we find challenging situations. You know, somebody dead from, I don't know, way too many years, and trying to find heirs. Basically, resolve every situation to close a deal. We don't make any money if we don't close, and our main source of business are realtors, and that's the same thing for them. They work on commission. So if they don't close a transaction, if we let it fall through because of title issues, we're not doing our job.
Yeah, interesting. What keeps you in this business? I mean, it sounds pretty exciting from everything that you're describing, but what's like the one factor that really gets you to wake up and keeps you going?
Honestly, I love interaction with customers every day. I love the office atmosphere that we have,
Hmm.
and the support that we give to each other. You know, if somebody needs to pick up where somebody left off, we do it. And actually, it's a very challenging job because you learn more and more as you do it
Hmm.
with time, basically. Um, there are so many situations that takes a lot of work and imagination to get things resolved, but they're possible. I mean, nothing is impossible, and we have to just find a way to get things clear and ready to close.
Right, right. So, I mean, it seems to me that you don't, even though your job can be challenging and stressful, you don't really seem too stressed to me. And I don't know if it's just because you're sitting in a massage chair, but
The chair has a lot to do with it.
um,
Just trust me. There's days that I'm pulling my hair out.
yeah,
Uh, this month has been great, busy. We love being busy,
hmm,
uh, but you know there's days that are better than others
yeah,
when it comes to stress. But the level of stress is manageable. I mean, everything has to be treated as it's not personal. It's just business, and you're trying to do whatever you can to close a transaction and make people happy.
So, what is a good way for that you have found for yourself to unwind and give yourself some self care when your job can get stressful? Do you have any practices that you have put in place over the years?
Well, since I took over, I decided not to. Before, I used to come in and work on the weekends. Now,
Hmm.
I don't mind staying late and getting my work done during the week. I do think that everybody should have 2 full days to recover and recharge.
Right.
I think it's so important that you detach from work because with technology, we're always looking at our emails
Yeah.
or making phone calls or whatever it is. There's always somebody that needs something, and you have to find a way to just have family time, personal time without interruptions, too. You
Right.
know, if we work as hard as we do at work in our relationships, we wouldn't have broken marriages, you know,
Hmm.
failed relationships. I feel that way at least.
No, I agree with you on that. And it's challenging for entrepreneurs to switch off.
It is.
And that's why I love to ask that question because I'm looking for advice too, right? Even though I do a lot of self care, sometimes I don't know how to switch off and I don't know when the day actually ends or when it actually begins. So, yeah, so thank you for that answer because it's really important to even just have complete days where you're like, oh, okay, I'm not I'm not working today at all.
Exactly.
You know.
I mean, and you will have times where there's an emergency that
Right.
comes up, and you can make an exception. But for the most part, I try to have my full weekend, Saturday and Sunday, without doing anything major, just focusing on my home life
Right.
mainly.
I love that. So this question just popped into my head as you were talking. If you could go back, being that you've been in this industry for so long, if you could go back and do something different, would you have? Or are you happy with everything that's how it's played out?
I think everything happens for a reason,
Mhm.
and I think I met, I joined Action Title at the right time, and I don't think there's anything that I would change. Maybe, as a younger person, maybe I had reservations, or I wasn't as driven as I am now.
Mhm.
But all that always comes with time. I mean, you mature and you realize that, okay, I need to take life seriously and build something for myself. But that thirst was always there. It was just not well developed. I think
Right.
with time, it has come to, make me want to do more and better and show young women that they can have a successful career and a good family life.
Mm.
I'm originally from Bolivia, South America, and I moved here when I was 18 years old.
Mhm.
And I want to inspire also immigrants, because
Right.
I think that this country is full of opportunities, and as long as you work hard, you can do whatever you want. You can achieve whatever you want.
I love
And
that.
I'm sure you can attest to that too.
Yes, absolutely. So that kind of leads me into my next question of what would you tell the next generation of entrepreneurs? What would be a piece of advice for them?
I think that the best piece of advice for new and upcoming young entrepreneurs is you gotta keep going. It doesn't matter how many times you get distracted or come into a bad situation. Don't get discouraged.
Right.
It will get better if you work. If you're good at what you do, you will see the products of your hard work sooner or later. Just always be honest, do right by people, and keep on having faith in yourself more than anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, huge for any industry, entrepreneur or not. A lot of people are faced with that imposter syndrome that they're not good enough, and what are they doing, and doubting themselves. So to give that piece of advice to keep going, don't give up, keep at it, like that's probably the only piece of advice that you need when you're starting out. And
Yes. And work hard. I mean, nothing will get handed to you unless you're, I don't know, super wealthy. But
Mhm.
if you want to achieve things, you have to go get them yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you are super wealthy, you could blow it.
Right.
Exactly. You could really mess that up. So yeah, that's I think having a good purpose and a why is always going to be the key factor of being successful in any business.
Yes. Don't lose track of what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
You mentioned that you have a staff that right now is pretty, like, they've been with you for a long time.
Correct. Yes.
So how do you create a culture within your work environment of your staff? Like, is it, you have to bring the energy, I'm sure, but is there anything specifically that you do to just create that culture within your workplace?
I think it's always good to keep it lighthearted.
Mm-hmm.
Crack jokes. I mean, we're all stressed about doing something that we don't want to do, or the load of work. But with time, I mean, you learn to let it roll off and just keep going. We have a very playful office. We joke around with each other. We make fun of each other. I think that is key.
Yeah.
For us to complete a project together. We know that we're a team, and we all work together. We help each other. And if you don't if you don't work together, you're not gonna get things done the way they should be. I mean, everybody in my office has a special role, and without them, we couldn't do what we do every day.
I love that. Keeping it lighthearted because, we're all human beings at the end of the day, right? So if people can't come to work scared of, making mistakes or, not being appreciated or whatever it is. So I think that truly brings the best out of people when they feel comfortable, and it's like a family, like you mentioned before,
Yes, it really feels like a family, to be honest.
That's beautiful. I love that.
We have watched each other's kids. I mean,
Aw.
I can only tell you stories about our kids, and now, grandkids probably soon enough.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. So, where do you see the business going? Like, what's the future of Action Title?
Well, I want to expand eventually to Lee County, hopefully, in the near future. We do the entire state of Florida without having an office in every county, but I would like to have a satellite office in Lee County to help the folks over there so they don't have to travel over here. Traffic is getting worse and worse,
Right.
with especially during this time of year, but I think it would be helpful to have another office where they can, if they're not in Collier County, we can assist them with their transactions in Lee County and Charlotte County and all that. I want to expand as everybody, that starts a business or takes over a business wants to do. I want to make it better than it was. I mean, it's
Right.
already great, but I'm a very ambitious person, so I want to have this company do well. It's Patty Decker's baby, and she entrusted me with her baby, so I want to make her proud of the product, the final product.
And it seems to me that you also want to have a legacy, to leave behind because
Oh, absolutely.
it's already, it's so rare for a business to be going strong for this many years. So I think it's like almost, you feel that sense of obligation and duty.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
you want to. Yeah,
Yes,
at the end of the day, you want to keep it going and leave a beautiful legacy. So that's great.
Right. I mean, I have a daughter that, she has no plans on getting in the business, but
Yeah.
I have wonderful stuff that, at some point when I decide to retire, I would like to pass it along to somebody that cares enough to build something from it. Just like I felt like it was
Yeah.
passed on to me.
That would be a beautiful full circle moment.
Exactly.
I love that. Oh, that's so wonderful. Well, I think we'll end it at that. I'm really, really pleased with our conversation today. I feel like I learned a lot, and I think any entrepreneur listening to this can really learn a lot from your story. And I appreciate your time here today, Allie. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.